So I'm from Pennsylvania. My name is Jennifer Larkin, and I'm 23 years old. And I think when I was younger, I really always wanted to be a singer. I don't really know where that idea came from, honestly, but whenever in school they were asking what I wanted to be and write it down, it was always, I want to be Hillary Duff, I want to be a singer. And I think that came from the Lizzie McGuire movie. It always got me really excited, but I think that really, in turn, meant I wanted to be a performer in some way. And just be, in front of a camera or have people see me. And now that I've gotten older, I think what that really meant and what my true purpose was that I just was supposed to show people what my message was and reach a larger audience. So I never became a singer. I'm not even really that good at singing. But so yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and I was always, I think, had a big circle of friends and had a really good family, had a really good support system, and they were always really there for me for whatever I wanted to do. And my mom is an energy spiritual healer, so I always had her support 100% in what I wanted to do, and she taught me a lot of lessons growing up about, doing what I want to do for myself rather than others, which I think I've really taken that, and that's molded me into who I am today. So same with my dad, he's really supportive. Always had friends that were supportive. And so when I was about 16, I was in the King Prussia Mall where I grew up, which is one of the biggest malls in the country. And I was scouted by my mother agent. And I wouldn't say it was very surprising that it happened, but I don't think it's really what I saw myself doing with my future, at least then. Everyone always was like, you should be a model, you're beautiful, are you a model, and all of that, but I don't know. I guess I was always really shy growing up, even though I had these big dreams for myself. And so I then signed with this agency in LA, being from a town in Pennsylvania, which was interesting and scary at the same time. But so I guess I was going into my junior year of high school, and I ended up leaving everything behind at home to move to Los Angeles. So I went there with my mom for 2 weeks, and I started modeling, which was amazing and really fun and something new. But I think although I was excited and everyone was really excited for me, it made me kind of get alienated by everyone around me at school. And people, they just treated me differently after then. Everyone was, I guess, nicer to my face, and they wanted to know, what I was doing, and thought it was cool and exciting, but then they all kind of got intimidated by me and stopped talking to me as much or inviting me to parties or things like that. So I wouldn't say that it was a bad thing that it happened, because it's taught me a lot, but it definitely wasn't the easiest starting out socially being a 16-year-old girl. So then after that, I lived there for an entire summer, and I worked more than I had ever worked in my life, which was really cool, being only 17 at the time. And I had worked with some of the biggest photographers in the industry at the time, and worked with some amazing models that, people would dream of meeting and they idolize. And I don't know, I always stayed really humble in the process though, and I think I still am very humble. And it's sometimes hard for me to talk about with people that aren't in the industry or understand, because I don't want to come across as if I'm boastful or better than anyone, because I know that I'm not, and I'm just a, girl, or I guess woman now. So yeah, I started making more money than anyone my age was making, and had to start paying bills, and learned a lot about myself along the way. So it was going really well, and then I moved there after college. I didn't go to college right away, and I was really getting a lot of good feedback about being, this huge model, and people are gonna, start really recognizing me, and my career's about to blossom. And I didn't know what that meant. I was 18 at the time. So I'm living in LA, across the country from my family. None of my family moved with me. I was 18. So I had to, learn how to kind of just restart my life completely. And I got into the scene of, partying, and it was all glamorous and all of that. I got to travel with people and, go to these fancy clubs and get a lot of money spent on me. And it sounded really glamorous, and everyone that I was telling it to was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And they were all jealous and stuff, but I don't know, it just wasn't a very fulfilling thing that I was doing. And I wasn't meeting people that were aligning with what I wanted to do. And I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fun. And I met some cool people, but I have nothing bad to say about anyone. But it just wasn't, how I wanted to continue living my life. So I got out of that, and I decided that living in LA was not the best decision for me at the time anymore. And I was just, I don't know, I was mentally not really all there. I was really depressed. I had every eating disorder you could have, and I was only 18. So I ended up moving home to Pennsylvania and just restarting my life all over again. I had lost some friends. I felt really disconnected from my family and really lost, I guess. So I'm the type of person that when I decide something, I make it happen that second or do everything I can to make that happen as soon as possible. So the second I decided to come home, I booked a flight, packed my room up, and moved back the next day or the day after that. And then I got home and I applied to college again, and then immediately went back to school. So I was technically a freshman, but coming in the second semester, which was also weird because everyone, that would have been graduating in my class would have already been a second semester freshman and living in the dorms, already made their friends. And so that was hard because I was coming from another city, felt really lost, and then started a new journey and felt lost there. Was living back at home, didn't feel like it was my home. So it was hard at first. And then, so I was commuting at first, and then I think I joined a sorority, made some friends, and they weren't the best for me at first because I was partying a lot again and kind of just going right back into what I was trying to get away from in LA. But then I was like, okay, I need to, get my shit together. I need to be more serious about this. And so, I cracked down, stopped going out, stopped drinking, and really started working on school, getting really invested in school. I ended up changing my major because I went in thinking, oh, I'm going to be, a businesswoman. I'll get a marketing degree or something like that, which I'm definitely a businesswoman, but not exactly what I wanted to do. And my friend was doing it, and I was like, that sounds good for me. So changed my major to communication studies and graphic design, which I'm totally creative, and I love talking with people, and I think I've always been good at communication, so that worked out really well. And then I ended up getting together with my best friend since I was 14, and we started dating, which was crazy. And now we've been together for 4 years. And so yeah, I ended up busting my ass in college, and I like fast-tracked the whole thing and ended up graduating on time with my class, which was really awesome. And I feel like I kind of take away from myself that I did that, and I don't appreciate it as much as I should, that, you know, I had this whole other life before everyone in my class, and I still graduated even before some of the people that I went to college with or high school. So yeah, so now I'm here in New York, and I have really made a big shift in my life. I'm 23 now, almost 24, and I had to make a really hard decision at the end of school to really, you know, get really serious with myself and talk with myself about what I really wanted in my future and for me, and really stop living for other people. I had a group of friends that, you know, are great people, but they weren't the best people for me anymore. And so I ended that friendship with all of them. It was like 15 people. And that was really hard because they were like my longest friends that I'd had from before modeling. Like, they knew me for me, and, you know, there was no bullshit. Like, they were my friends because they've been my friends. So that was hard, but I think it really catapulted me to really do what I wanted to do for me and be my full self, because I was kind of just living for them, and I think I was not being honest with the type of person that I really was. Meaning, you know, we would hang out, we'd drink, we'd watch movies, and that's fine, but I'm, like, honestly such a spiritual person, and I love talking about, you know, like star seeds and soul work and self-care and stuff like that. And I just don't think that a lot of people around me, especially my area, were really open to stuff like that. And I think this comes back to, you know, my mom, who taught me all of this. And for so long I was like, oh, she's crazy, like, I don't know what she's talking about. But now that I'm older, I totally connect with all of that. And so yeah, so I had to get really honest with myself, and they had made kind of fun of me and made me feel like suppressed a little bit to be my full self with those types of topics. So yeah, so I made a bunch of new friends that were more aligned with what I was wanting to, you know, align with. And yeah, so I graduated on time. I went abroad to London and, you know, did a journey there in Europe, and that was amazing. And then I signed with an agency in New York. Oh, also, I quit modeling for 4 years while I was in college. Totally forgot about that. And that was a big deal because I think that really defined who I was for such a long time. And then I quit, and I felt like a total failure. And I was like, everyone's gonna think I'm a failure, and they're not gonna understand. They're just gonna be like, she failed, she couldn't do it. But in reality, no one cared because it's my life. And so yeah, and then I ended up kind of trashing the industry, honestly, because I just had a grudge against it, because I thought, you know, it's to blame for me being depressed and all of this stuff. But really, the industry just flows as it's going to flow and it's always going to be changing. And I just think I got like a tougher skin from that and learned a lot about myself and self-love and self-worth. So I think it was really the best thing that I could have ever done at a young age, because I grew up and I had fun and I met a lot of people and learned a lot about myself, which I don't think a lot of people can say in their entire life, or just, before being 20. So yeah, and now I'm in New York. I moved here last July of 2018. And at first it was hard because it was another change and all my friends lived in Pennsylvania. And I really didn't know anyone here. But I was like, I know this is what I want to be doing. I always really wanted to be, when I got more serious about it, in college and high school, I was like, I want to be a fashion merchandiser, designer, buyer, stylist, something in fashion. But really wanted to own a boutique or a clothing store, something like that. Have something of my own that's mine. I own it. It's my business. And so I think this was kind of the best option, to have the means and the ability to get into the industry, make connections, and just all of that, to be able to one day own my own business and do something for myself, because I see myself modeling for a while, but it's not all that I am. And I think sometimes a lot of girls get caught up in it and they kind of let it define them too much, and they don't have their own hobbies or something else to fall back on if it does go south, which it can. And so I'm very grateful that I went to school and have a degree in something that I know I could get a job in if this went south, which I don't think it will, but you never know. And so my boyfriend, he owns a company that also allows me to start my own clothing line if I wanted to, which I have. But I think I've just been scared about people, judging me or not liking my designs, or, not thinking it's quote unquote good enough to be sold. So yeah, I think I've been hesitant for those reasons, and also money, time, just excuses. So I kind of allowed the first couple of months here in New York to really dive deep into myself and deal with a lot of past traumas and hurt and stuff, and guilt, grief, everything, and do a lot of breath work, meditation, journaling. I've never really been a journaler, and people are always like, oh, you should journal, it'll help you. I'm like, how can you sit down for an hour a day and journal? I just never fathomed that, but now I do. So now I'm getting much more honest with myself, and I'm really passionate about manifesting and getting very, very specific about my dreams and my goals and what I want my future to look like, who I want in my life. And so I did that for about a month straight. And at this point in time, I really wasn't working. I was really frustrated. I felt really lost again. And I knew that was okay, and I've been brought up and taught myself and learned a lot that everything happens for a reason. But that didn't help really, that I was frustrated and I wasn't working, I wasn't making any money, I was living in a very expensive city. So yeah, it got really specific, and I started journaling all the time, and literally within, I think, a month, it just all started to unfold. And I'm so serious when I say that this works so well. And it all just started happening and flowing to fruition, and I started working. I think literally the week after I got very, very specific and just meditated on all of it, that I started working every single day in that next month. And I really wanted to be living by myself, and I was living with a roommate, and I kept, meditating on the fact that I want to be making money. I don't want to live with someone else. And then within the next 3 weeks, she was like, I'm moving out. Like, I found another apartment, and then I started making money, so I lived by myself. And so yeah, it's all been a journey, and I've learned a lot about myself, and finally feel comfortable living here and have my friends now that are very aligned with what I'm doing. And I don't know, I feel like I can tell them like my every thought rather than speaking with them about, oh, what agency are you with? How long are we modeling? Like, which is such a common topic sometimes when you talk to models. And that's not to say that models are dumb or don't have anything to say, but I feel like a lot of times we all kind of put these molds or stigmas around each other, honestly, where we're like, oh, she wouldn't be into what I'm into, so I shouldn't even bring it up. Like, she'll think I'm weird or something, which is so not true. And I feel like there's a stigma on us in general where people think that, we have nothing to say, or all we are is models, all we do is pose in front of a camera, but like, it's hard work. And, I have to take care of myself. I have to get good sleep. I can't drink a lot. I can't party a lot. Like, not that I want to, but you really have to take care of yourself. And like, anyways, I don't even know where I'm going with that. But so, yeah, it's going really well. I've been here for a year now, which has been cool, and I've learned even more about myself. I always will. Every year I'll learn something new. Every day I'm learning something new. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good about myself, and I feel secure in myself. And there's obviously things that I still struggle with. I'll always struggle with them. I'll always be, self-conscious about certain things, or very conscious of other things, very confident about certain things. And I don't know, I think the message that I'm trying to get across is that everyone you see is going to have something that you want. But that person might want what you have, and they don't, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I just love this city, and I just find so much inspiration here. And I think for a while I was kind of blocked off to all my inspiration for anything, really, like drawing, painting. And so I'm a graphic designer, and for a while I felt really closed off to designs and stuff like that, but like, I'm seriously always finding so much inspiration here, and I feel like I can really do anything in this city. So yeah, I've just learned that I can really do whatever I put my mind to. And so yeah, it's been pretty much exactly a year since I lived here, and I'm finally starting my company, which is awesome. And so yeah, I don't think I'll be a model forever, but it's definitely gotten me to, have money, to be able to put a backing on a company and meet cool people, learn a lot of stuff about the industry. And I really want to bring, more awareness to things and have my own organization or fund certain things that I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about sustainability and the environment and homelessness, very passionate about that. And education, I love children. So I don't know what I'll do with that, but so yeah, the company I'm starting, I have two. I'm starting one with my boyfriend, and it's going to be a streetwear line because he has access to direct-to-garment printers where we can print our own designs, and I work for him as well, so I really know how to start a brand for someone and kind of curate a baby into something. And for a while I'm like, why am I not doing this for myself? Like, I know exactly what to do, but it's all that fear, and I've been working on that. So yeah, that will be launching in the fall. And then I'm really excited about this one because this one's like mine rather than, ours. And So when I think I was like 16, I had this mentor who was amazing. She's passed away. And she owned this boutique in my hometown. And it's been around for about 10 years now, maybe even longer now. But so I worked under her, I was her intern, and I really got to see the whole buying process and, you know, what it takes to own a boutique and all of that. So that's what I've really always wanted to do, was own a boutique. And so yeah, I'm gonna do that. So this fall I'm launching that as well. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm excited. And I think every day is a new journey, and every day I'm going to be changing my mind and having new ideas and meeting new people in this crazy city. So, yeah, it's hot.